Screaming from your soul. We watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down, a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know. Will you follow me?
With anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa W3 Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday night SmackDown edition of the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Love to see all the people in here. We've already got 11 people in here. That's awesome. Great. Fantastic to see all of you lovely people here. If you're one of our returning viewers or listeners, lovely to see you guys as always. Make sure you take your assigned seats where you have placed them. If you're new around these parts, well, who are we exactly besides being known as the Weebs of the Ring? Well, of course, there's three of us here. We are your lovely co-hosts. I, of course, am one of your most decorated sports entertaining podcasters in all of the internet, all across Twitter, all across YouTube, all across the entire internet's landscape. Your reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Whawkins here, helping you guys be guided through the wrestling event of the evening. And of course, there are two lovely gentlemen here to join me. First and foremost, to my right, we've got the man who claims to be a revolutionary. He also claims to be a visionary. He's also the #1 Goldberg stand in all of WWE. He loves to work for The Rock. He's also helped The Rock lose all that weight. So, hey, if you want a good weight loss program, talk to this man as always. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Legend D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
It's your boy, the human attack for Legend D Vash, as Whawkins greatly call a few things wrong for tonight, because I'm not for tonight the visionary. I am the husbando CM Punk for tonight's show for the Chicago out here, because I can understand the man happiness, the man smiling for seeing his wife win, she being back in the company after 10 years, seeing the greatness, seeing the pop, seeing the pure applaud, the pure happiness of seeing your wife just get the applaud of Chicago, the fans screaming, chanting her name. And even tell Becky, like, let them chant AJ Lee. Once he said that, I was like, yo, she's coming out. Because that was the first time or second time that he acknowledgedly said her name since he's been back without saying it, like saying my wife or other aberrations of different types. So just hearing it was fucking golden. It was amazing. So, Chad, you guys going to hear us be excited for this moment. So please tell us in the comment section how you guys felt about this as well. Sadly, none of us did a reaction or sidecast of it. We're just here in the moment, so you guys gonna hear our pure excitement of seeing one of our favorites return, hearing that music hit. But of course, just ready. Yo, congrats to your return, AJ Lee. We would love to talk to you one day, and just seeing you return is amazing. I remember stopped
Yep.
watching back 10 years ago, and now seeing this 10 years later, it's like, damn, I feel like I haven't left.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, as Vash said, you may not have seen our raw reaction to the moment, but when it comes to like being on the internet and dirt sheets and all that, and just how WWE has been kind of leading towards this moment for SmackDown, it was kind of obvious, but like again, the moment itself was fantastic, and you're basically getting like our raw emotions from just that moment happening right now. So, if anything, you guys are at least getting that right now. But of course, to my left is the gentleman who will help us process those emotions, the guy who's going to help us, kind of break down some of these stories going into the realm of professional wrestling. He is known around these parts as the genius of the mat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, honestly. Like, this was one of the things a lot of people say, and I made a tweet about it on my own Twitter account when it comes to the magic of professional wrestling, because there is a moment in time when you're just sitting down on your couch, you're fully absorbed, or if you're in the arena itself and you're just capturing that moment right in front of you and just experiencing everything from beginning to end. And that's exactly what this was, because we waited 10 years to see AJ Lee return. And this is at the same level of CM Punk in terms of we don't know if this person is ever going to come back, because she talked about how she retired. She really wasn't as interested in it anymore. She became an author. She started working out a lot. She basically had a lot of other things on her plate that she decided to go full throttle with, which is understandable because, at times you do things for a little bit and then you decide to move on to something else. But what we saw here was like what we experienced back in 2023 with CM Punk returning at Survivor Series when he had that little logo towards the end and he came out. None of us expected it to happen because of the history of CM Punk and WWE prior, but looking how that happened, that kind of opened up the door a little bit for AJ Lee potentially. And here we are 2 years later, and she's here. She looks in great shape. She honestly looks identical to how she did all those years ago. She has that same fit. She has that same amount of craziness to her. And it's just incredible. And I got emotional. I'm not afraid to admit that, because when it comes to moments like this, it's okay to be emotional when you're soaking happy tears, things along the lines of that. And it was just a very memorable SmackDown to me, just because of that moment alone. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you create a moment, it lasts a lifetime. I mean, even the wrestling images before a certain moment appears, Twitter account already has it on their page, and it's already blowing up. I mean, her return's almost at 2 million views, and SmackDown ended like 51 minutes ago. That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It just shows it just shows how great, like, knowing the music, like hearing the song, like just watching it on a Discord in a community with a few people, just being there, like, yo, and my wife was with me, like, I felt the emotion. I felt like I was about to tear, like Drop said, tear of joy, just seeing somebody that was a fan favorite, just knowing how the crowd has been calling her name since live at 8 p.m. But who knows, since the audience has been there probably since 7:30 or probably 7:20, they've been announcing her name. And I could just imagine when Becky was out there slapping her husband and everything, AJ was in the back watching and just hearing the fans calling her name. I could just imagine her in the gorilla room, even her doing the skip down, down the runway was amazing. Like, oh, we're still in character. Oh my gosh, she still looks at me. Like, for those that don't know about AJ in real life, she has a book out right now. I had no interest of buying her book. Now, just for support, I'm gonna buy her book. Will I read it? Time will tell. But I will go to Amazon, support her book, because I'm a fan. And just showing that, like, yo, you came back, a fan favorite, just seeing you with your partner, also able to hug him on screen because he's your partner in real life now, and you're able to do that because back in stories you was with other partners as wrestlers. So now that you're able to actually hug your husband as a character and on screen, that's fucking amazing as well. Like just all that. Like Job said, I saw another content creator, I believe it's JD, that also saying that the power of magic in wrestling when it does these type of moments are amazing. Triple H has always said it during the press conference and outside, saying that their goal is to make moments. It's great for that wrestling and on mic work, and just seeing it when a return happens, you just get emotional about it.
Well, I mean, that's just WWE's MO. They're always there to make moments and all that. And really, that's what this whole big segment was at the end. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when you look at it on paper, this was a pretty standard segment when it
Oh,
comes
it was
to
100%.
our main event segment and all that. But it's mainly because what they were doing was building the anticipation of AJ Lee's music hitting, which thank you for using her music, not like doing a Def Rebel redo of it
We
or
did see that last
anything
night.
worse than that. What?
I said we did say that last night during our Grappling of the Week episode
Oh, well,
28.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
did say that, like, please
Yeah.
don't allow this to happen, and it didn't. So it was just great to hear, like, light it up
Mhm.
on that moment.
But well, and really, I kind of want to hear more from Drop right now because, like, I know you're the one in this podcast that like actually lived through most of, if not all of AJ Lee's WWE run when she was in the company at first. You know, I mean, I know with me, you know, I had to play a bit of catch up from back in 2015 and all that. But like, I kind of want to hear from you. Like, I know you kind of hit on it a little bit, but just like, what does this moment kind of mean for you right now? Seeing AJ Lee not only come back at this moment in time, but like, and because like I know we didn't really get into it too much last night on Grappling with the Week, so that's why I want to like dive into it more here. Like, what are some of your expectations now going into it? Because like the playing field is way different than it was 10 years ago, at least 10 years ago. So it's just like, you know, do you have any expectations? I mean, obviously me and Vash will have ours, you know, based on our experience with it, but like I just want to hear from you first, just because like you know, being the one around here that has gone through her career in real time and all that.
So when it comes to AJ Lee in 2025, it's definitely a different playground for her because this is the women's division she always envisioned back then, all those years ago. She was the one that wanted the ladies to have moments like this where they're main eventing WrestleManias or Raws or SmackDowns or getting all these big opportunities. That's what she was fighting for, because that's what she said in her promo all those years ago when she was Divas champion and she was talking to Naomi. Natalia was out there, the Bellas were out there, very annoying in that segment, by the way. And she was pretty much saying how she didn't have to get where she was from being a part of a royal family, hinting at Natalia being part of, obviously, with Bret Hart, Owen Hart, all of them, her father. Then you got Brie Bella and Nikki Bella being the reality show, or all the other girls in the ring are just there just because they look good. Like, she was actually able to break barriers by being who she was, outside of having all these special things attached to her. And that's what she wanted to push to really make a difference. Unfortunately, things didn't go in her favor, which is why things ended up heading down a different direction for her. That led her to eventually leave the company, focus on what she wanted to do, and then move forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she operates in this new environment, because it's already said in reports that this isn't going to be a one-off. Like, she's actually going to be a reoccurring character, and there's a lot of things that we can do for her. We could see how she evolves in this new era, how she interacts with who's there now, like people like Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, which is obviously the first person I'm going to get into, and then eventually, because I already know she was emotional when I saw her online, whenever her and Roxanne cross paths too. Just things like that. It's going to be very special to see where it goes. And I mean, there's just so much you can do with her and this new environment. Like a lot of people said before, oh, this isn't going to be the same Punk. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. And look at Punk now 2 years later. He probably has some of the best matches, some of the best storylines, some of the best promo segments. Like Punk hasn't lost a step since he came back, and I'm expecting the same thing for her because she's very charismatic. And that tells me, because there's other people in the company that are very charismatic, that could help bloom a lot of other people that are afraid to get out of their shell. So maybe with her assistance, she can actually help a couple of the other ladies break out of that shell and show more of their character to really help them stand out, because that's what she was most known for, being charismatic, having a personality, things along the lines of that. So that's basically my answer to that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because like I think one thing to kind of note too, I mean, I think the show's called Heels. It was
Yeah.
one of the Netflix shows
Yes, it was.
about wrestling that she was in. So like it kind of helps that she was part of that show, like an actor in that show, where she actually like kind of used some of her training for that, not only just to portray the show, but actually keep herself in shape too. Because I mean, and that's not saying, oh, you're an out of shape person, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, look at me, I'm a big old chonkster and all that, you know. But it's just good to know that like she at least kept up with it throughout the years, at least in the past few years, and especially with Punk coming back. I mean, even in his time with AEW, I'm sure AJ Lee got in the ring, kind of worked with him a little bit, and you know,
Yeah.
I'd had to do some research. I'm sure she did a few things like in some schools and all that, at least, you know.
From what I remember top of my head, that she
Mhm.
helped CM Punk train to get back into WWE.
Yeah.
Also, I believe during his surgery, when he was recovering, he was training at home with her.
Mhm.
And some drills was posted online that they did. And during the Heels, it was originally on Stars, but then they got canceled, and then Netflix helped them out to get one more season, I
That's what it
believe.
was.
And with that, she also trained a few of the actors to get into the scenes.
Mhm.
AJ Lee and CM Punk was working with Stephen Amell, who was the main actor in that show.
Right. Okay. All right. So I mean, I am definitely excited to see AJ Lee. I know with my experience, you know, I mean, Vash had mentioned, you know, feeling the emotions that everybody has felt through the past 10 years coming through the screen, all that. I felt that as well, you know, being, you know, the fan that I am, as at least, you know, having to do a bit of catch up from, you know, a few years ago and all that. But like from
Eh,
what I saw, you know, great matches from AJ Lee. I'm happy, just as Drop said, that she's going to be in an environment that will actually be able to highlight her a lot more. I think she's one talent that will definitely benefit from being on the roster right now in 2025. I think she's going to really thrive. And honestly, she might be the one to take that belt off of Becky Lynch. And if she is, yes, please. First of all, yes, please. Second of all, the match qualities are going to skyrocket even then, I think. And yeah, it's just going to be a great moment for her as well, because like she'll be like holding one of the first ever women's mid-card titles, so there's that under her belt and all that. But like not only just that, like you could just tell from her coming to the ring and all that, and like how her and Punk were, you could just tell how much this means to them and all that. Because like as much as much animosity and as much, you know, bad juju that came from both her and CM Punk leaving the company, you know, they both wanted to be back in wrestling. Like that's the thing. When you're gone from something like that, you miss it so much. And like what, no matter what kind of negativity you had with it, you're gonna crave that influence. Like, I mean, there's not a day goes by that I wish I can't go back on a freaking stage with my saxophone, just like blare blare that thing to
That
no end and all that, you know.
that
And it's like, mhm,
if I could add that adrenaline that you're talking about, like
mhm,
that pure hype that the crowd screams for you, hypes for you
yeah,
up, that they're feeding you. It just, I felt like that's what in the beginning of the show I call myself the husbando. Like I could relate a lot to CM Punk. Like that man was smiling the shit.
Yeah.
Happiness, pure joy, and seeing AJ Lee come out, seeing the fans chant loud, his ears, he probably couldn't even hear his thoughts, just having a smile. There were times where seeing my wife succeed, I get happy, and she'd be asking me why you smile. Like, I'm just happy seeing you win. I'm just happy seeing you get W. So just knowing that, just seeing CM Punk being a proud husband and like just seeing his wife come down the ramp, doing her thing, getting the seeing the love, like drop. I grew up with AJ Lee. I didn't see her last 2 years as a wrestler or last year, but just seeing her, how great she is. And now, like you mentioned, that we're in the regime, we're in the era to see that succeed and push more. Like we have like some superstars like Rhea, Liv Morgan, and a few others that have been very well success through the crowd, through getting over and having the mic working everything. The one thing I've been waiting and I've been scouring through the timeline for Chad is Naomi. I'm waiting for her crash out online, her tweet. I've been looking for it. I've been refreshing my timeline because I've seen, like, for example, Lyra just being excited for these moments. So like just seeing AJ Lee as a fan, it's fucking amazing, man. Like I love it.
Yeah, I just saw a clip just
and-
now of Triple H giving her the contract to sign.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
shit.
good.
He
That's
just posted it, yeah.
Yeah. Which, all right. I'm glad you brought up contracts. I want to bring this up too. I mean, and this is just kind of the culture that we are in, especially, going on YouTube, doing these podcasts and all that. This is just one of those instances where I wish that I could just block and mute all the dirt sheets and all that.
Yeah.
Because it's like as soon as Monday hit, it's just like, oh, AJ Lee's coming back on Friday. Oh, she's scheduled to come back. Oh, she's definitely coming back. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to speculate. It's one thing to have like, some rando, like, let's take our Twitter account for example. It's one thing for like our Twitter account to be like, oh, the AJ Lee might be coming back, blah blah blah, like as a speculation kind of thing. It's another thing for like, and I don't mean this in any negativity or like vast negativity with it, but like it's another thing when like Fightful like immediately after Raw is just like, here's all of the news that we have on AJ Lee coming back. It's just like, come on, guys, like you're ruining the magic of part of, like, you're somewhat ruining the magic of it, because this is like, why can't we just have a surprise with it? And it's kind of like when we get the other return tonight that we'll touch on here in a little bit. It's like, can't we just like leave things be until like a little bit afterwards and be like, oh, these were plans all along, and then you can be like, all right, cool, neat. But I think that's just the culture we live in anymore. And it's probably just more of a pet peeve from mine as well. But it's just like moments like this could be greatly enhanced just by not having the dirt sheets being like that. And I feel like they should be like that as well, being like, okay, you know what, let's not do this, let's not push this story. But again, just the society we live in, I guess. But man, it was so good. Like, again, I got goosebumps when her music hit and all that, and I could feel the emotion, not only just from her and Punk. I could feel it from the crowd. I could feel it just from the fans and all that. And I even said it in our Discord too. I was like, hey, look, I'm just gonna soak in the next like 13 minutes of this show, because I just want to experience it as a fan again, not as a critic, not as like somebody that's breaking everything down. I just want to experience it as a fan. And yeah, that was definitely the way to go. Just let it all soak in, hear that crowd roar, hear them just like singing Punk too to the ring as well. But like, again, the segments itself, very basic, from like both Seth and Becky and Punk too.
Yeah.
Kind of almost in a way, just kind of copy and pasting from Monday, except hey, Punk has backup now, and that's just a lead up for AJ Lee. But so like the big moment here is just AJ Lee coming back, and it's just
To you guys,
it's exciting.
my question to you guys is that now that we finally got this, do we feel like this was the right time with, probably guys, in the way that we're gonna break kayfabe, obvious things like, do you think CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch there this idea for the storyline so they could find a way to get AJ Lee back within the company, since there's a perfect opportunity to fight husband versus husband, wife versus wife, have a mixed tag team for WrestlePalooza. Was it something that they work out at the perfect timing, or at the end of the day, it was just all coincidence, perfect timing, things line up type of stuff? Because I would have loved it as at a Royal Rumble. I would have loved it at a WrestleMania. But for an event like, still hate saying the fucking PLE name, WrestlePalooza, so stupid. But for this PLE having this ESPN and everything, like the whole coincidence work, I'm still okay with it. But it just works because it fit the pieces together, like Chicago, CM Punk hometown, AJ Lee's love there. Everything just worked out perfectly. Again, like I'm just mixed on how everything got to the point. Just all the coincidence work. So I want to actually walk us. How do you feel about this first? Like,
I mean,
now that we got there.
I think it's just all about timing, you know. I mean, as soon as CM Punk came back, I know there were a few people like, okay, now that Punk's back, maybe his wife AJ Lee can come back and all that. So like, there's always just been that animosity, and it's just like, when is the right time to come back, you know? And it could have been at the Rumble, but like the thing with the Royal Rumble, it like with a comeback from the Royal Rumble, is it can kind of be masked by other comebacks or other cameos and all that.
True.
So like a comeback like this later on in the year is good, and especially leading up to like a B-level pay-per-view, or well, which could actually outshine WrestleMania 41, but you know that remains to be seen as well. Um like I'm for like a return like this, and like you don't want to always have a return be at a special event. Like you want to make even your weekly shows feel special, you know. And I mean that's kind of the hole that AEW kind of got into a little bit, where it's like, oh, because there was a point maybe like 3 or 4 years ago where it's like, all right, every big show has to have some sort of return or has to have some sort of new signing and all that. Who's it going to be? Who's going to show up and all that? And it gets a little tiring. It gets a little samey in a way. And if you know anything about us with samey things, yeah, try to be different and all that. And I think that's kind of where Triple H's WWE really succeeds at, is making, or at least sometimes, keyword sometimes, making the weekly product a little bit better, you know. And I think that's why they do things like keeping, let's say for example, like mostly keeping the tag titles on like Raw and SmackDowns and all that, or like having nights like tonight, for example, be like, oh, here's both of our US titles on the line for you guys. Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? Just kind of making those shows feel a little better. Now, whether that is done correctly or done right, or we like how that's done, you know, that depends on who you ask and all that. Some people love that. Some people think it's the best thing ever. Some people think, hey, why aren't we getting the tag titles on a PLE after a whole year? You know, what the hell's up with that? So it really depends on who you ask, but and it also just depends on the execution of it. But yeah, I think just long explanation short. I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it. The timing I think felt right, especially if you're trying to do an event like WrestlePalooza, which was going head to head with All Out, but might not right now. But I mean, it's still, you, like WWE says, they want to be the ones that you talk about. And what better thing to talk about than, hey, AJ Lee's back. Hey, AJ Lee and CM Punk are teaming up and all that. Don't you guys want to see that? They're fighting Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Don't you guys want to see that? That feud's still going on and all that. Yeah, so Drop, do you have anything to add to answering Vash's question there?
Yeah, I thought what happened tonight was probably the right time to do it, because it's like you said, and I agree with it, and it should be an ongoing thing moving forward. You have to make these shows feel special. You can't always have it be like, okay, this is Raw, this is SmackDown, this is NXT, this is Dynamite, this is Collision, You know, this is TNA, etc., so on. You don't always want it to feel like a weekly like wrestling show where you always expect the same thing. You want it to be a little bit different where it catches you off guard sometimes. For example, when you had that moment with Adam Page burning down Swerve's house, that was a special moment. You don't typically see things like that all the time in AEW. And then when it comes with tonight with AJ Lee returning, that's a big moment because you would think in the top of your head, because typically that's always saved for a pay-per-view, but the fact that you wanted to make it special, and it wasn't just AJ Lee tonight, you know, John Cena's final time in Chicago, his last SmackDown, and then, you know, having CM Punk return home, having Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch thrown into the mix, and then AJ Lee being the cherry on top of it. It's moments like that that felt special. And I feel like they made a right decision earlier in the year where they gave that special moment to Alexa Bliss. And I'm saying Alexa Bliss because I know who showed up earlier, and it was great to see her return. Charlotte. But Alexa Bliss, another person we didn't expect to see, just came out of nowhere. It was a really big moment. So I felt like since they have something going on, a very intriguing story that a lot of us are sinking our teeth into, makes a lot of sense to add her here, because I wouldn't want her thrown into something just to be there. I would want a concrete plan, like, okay, what are you going to do with her? You're not going to have her just chilling in the back doing this or that while CM Punk is just beating up Roman or beating up Seth or getting in a promo segment with Cody or, you know, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure there's a blueprint of everything that's going on, because at least now with her being here, you got this whole thing with her and her husband against Seth and Becky, and then that could evolve into a Becky and AJ Lee program, and then from there it could evolve into potentially an AJ Lee and Roxanne program if AJ Lee ends up getting the title, things along the lines of that, kind of like a passing of the torch moment between the both of them. Kind of like how we saw with John Cena and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, you know, passing the torch, stuff like that. I can see it easily. Her coming out one night on Raw, celebrating her victory. Out comes Roxanne. They have a little moment between one another. We know how much Roxanne looks up to AJ Lee because that is her inspiration to become a wrestler. At least you have a concrete, at least you have some concrete for them to stand on there, and then it can go to something else and to something else. Then she can get involved in a Royal Rumble and a WrestleMania, you know, etc., so on. At least where we're at right now, there's a way where we're able to go down the road, because before it was a dead end, because the way that we're looking at it before could have just been a moment and that's it. And I would hate for her just to return and not do anything with her. So I felt like what they did tonight was fine.
I do want to add with Roxanne, she did tweet saying mommy's home, so we definitely know that they're gonna follow up with something like that on Monday's Raw. I wonder if they're gonna include that in story canon, that Roxanne inspiration is AJ Lee and that's who she sees, you know, as a mother figure and everything within the story aspect. So I wonder if they're gonna attribute that to some capacity.
I mean, I'm sure they will down the line. I don't know if they'll do that right away on Monday.
Of course.
But
But like right not this week, no.
definitely,
Probably like November.
Definitely down the line though. But one thing I wanted to point out too, shout out to Fightful for this tweet though. September 5th, 2021, CM Punk had his first match in 7 years. September 5th, 2025, AJ Lee returns to WWE after 10 years. So it's just a funny coincidence how they both kind of made a big return on the same day, just 4 years apart. So just a very interesting little tidbit there. I don't know. I like part of me doesn't want to move on from this, but like I also don't want to like beat the dead horse with this, because there was some other things that happened on this SmackDown to kind of talk about. So I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get more on Monday. Again, I assume AJ Lee's gonna be.
We did find
Monday
out one
to
thing.
cut a promo.
She did.
They'll be fine, bro.
She signed a multi-year contract.
All right, good. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I
Good.
believe
Good.
that would have been confirmed sometime by now to Monday. If not, we would have spoken about it by Thursday for Grappling of the Week. So
Hell yeah.
it's just good to have that confirmation to know that hey, she's here for the long run.
Mhm.
I'm curious to see how her next couple years of life will be because I know that she has a book out. She has a comic book out for those
Mhm.
that don't know as well.
Yep.
And she's also an actress, but now she's back to wrestling. So I'm really curious to see how she's gonna go. So I'm here for the support. Best of luck for what she's gonna be doing forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna be here to talk about all of those moments when they happen because man, it is an exciting time. See, this is exactly the shot in the arm that the women's division kind of needed,
Yeah.
especially with all these titles going on. Which we'll get to one of them here tonight. Don't you worry, folks.
Yeah. We're going.
But yeah, well, I think we'll keep talking more about it as the days and the
Oh, yeah.
weeks and the months go on and all that. So
It's
yeah,
time
let's just
forward. WWE champion John Cody Rhodes, right?
no, because he's not here. So don't worry.
Oh yeah,
Don't worry, Vash.
he
Let
didn't come
me
to work.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So don't worry.
It's
I've got the transitions for you.
yeah.
I've got the transitions for you. Don't worry, because we're not gonna worry about our WWE title. Why? Because he's over fighting off Akuma right now. Akuma Matata, whatever. So we're gonna just blitz right through to our mid-card stories. Oh boy, we're gonna start with a doozy here, folks. We had our US title on the line, and not just the women's US title. Oh no, oh no, oh no, Hogan. See, you're not dealing with the average United States champion tonight. Nah, you've got your reigning defending, now doing an open challenge US champion of Sami Zayn, who interrupts John Cena at the beginning, saying, Hey, gonna do an open challenge, and I challenge you, Cena. Yes. So our night started off. Basically, our first hour, when you look at it, like first 55 minutes of all of SmackDown started with like this whole John Cena segment. So like John Cena comes out, basically plays upon the crowd from Chicago, lays a bunch of his history on the crowd and everything, how he basically had his first match here when he came out, slapped Kurt Angle and said ruthless aggression, lost to him in that match, got the one up from The Undertaker and all that, had his main event match with Triple H, which I remember watching that live. Yes, please, more of that. His big historic match with CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. What else did he mention? His ruthless aggression, and those were basically the biggest highlights. But basically, he doesn't have a plan for tonight. Out came Sami Zayn. He's like, hey, my first match on the main roster was against you. You were US champion. You were doing your little open challenge thing. I'm going to pay it forward. Let me do the open challenge now after you. So I'm expecting, Sammy, next week for you to have an open challenge for your US title. Cool, great, awesome. Thank you for coming. But his first challenge in all this is going to be John Cena. And I'm not going to lie, folks, they cooked in this match. This match was fun to watch. It did kind of start off a little bit slow, but then all the big moves came out, mainly from John, and he's doing this thing right now. And I'm glad he said something. I think it was on the post show of Clash in Paris where he mentioned, hey, some of the people that I'm not going to be able to face in my retirement match, I'm going to make little homages or little nods to during my matches now. And that is definitely evident in this Sami Zayn match after, John pulling out a freaking pop-up power bomb, a spear of all things. Like, this dude was pulling off some moves that he's never done before. Like, he even tried to do a damn RKO on Sammy,
Yeah.
Oh my
but
god.
got blocked and all that.
Yeah.
Or was
But
it?
before
Because technically it was kind of an RKO the way that Randy does the fake one where he always misses. So technically it was an homage.
well, anyways, that's besides the point. Before we get to how the match ended, let me hear from you guys. So, Vash, go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts, just like this opening segment, the match itself. We won't talk about the ending here until like we get through the good parts of everything. So, go ahead, lay it on me.
Yeah, I don't know what ending he was talking about. That ending, I feel like it's a blur in my head. I should don't even exist. But because of what Walker's talking about when he said that the whole SmackDown first hour was almost all John Cena stuff. And I'm like, I went to cage match, see, and I'm like, holy shit, you're right. Because we have 3 matches in one night. And each of those last 2 matches are less than 10 minutes. So it just it got me flustered. I'm like, wow, it just happened so fast. When it comes to the segment itself, John Cena was great in the segment. He was very, the word I'm looking for is honor. He was very honored to be here in Chicago. The first place he started, the first place is ending on the blue brand. Very beautiful to hear. I was very excited just to see that type of character, the way he brought a lot of the callbacks. He did a lot of the move sets of the angle for Kurt Angle, angle slam for Kurt Angle. He did the spear. Michael Cole, in case you got it wrong, is for Edge, the Rated R superstar.
We don't know who that is
Not
anymore.
for Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, when you're not with the company anymore, you just don't exist. You just end up becoming a Canadian.
Yeah, you just
Random
cope with it.
Canadian.
You just cope with it.
That's all right for what it was said, but I'm very glad
cope with it,
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Good
cope with
one,
it. That's a good one. But it was just glad over to hear. For those that once I immediately saw that he was in the corner, like right here in the corner, and this man put up his fake hair that he don't got and already went for the spear. I knew that was an Edge reference immediately. But like Watkins said, when you're not with the company, when you're against a rival, or if you you consider yourself a rival, then you are not gonna be mentioned and you just don't exist. But a lot of those references was really dope to see. I love what Watkins brought up that was mentioned in Clash of Paris, talking about the possibility that some of these people will not be last opponents. He's very, sad, disappointed because he has, like no more dates. And I'm like, my guy, just add them dates. That's it. But most likely it won't happen because they already scheduled a booking. He's a busy man. So what it is.
You commit to what you say.
You commit to what you are. A lot of people in the Twitter side was saying, yo, it would be amazing for Kurt Angle to appear. And I'm like, yes, but what we got was still amazing because it was a lot of callbacks, even for Sami saying, hey, I'm going to do the US Open Challenge just like you did. So, like Walker said, I'm expecting a match every goddamn week of US Open Challenge if that's the case. You must be versing every different dude from the locker room on that challenge because somebody else with a US belt in a different division should be doing the same fucking shit. But hey, that's a whole different conversation that we will be having momentarily. But that's all I have so far when it comes to the match. When it comes to a lot of my few favorite moves, was like the spear was one because Edge was one of the people I grew up with as well, as much as John Cena and a few others. So just seeing that spear was amazing. Homage, like that's one of my favorites. The angle slam was cool to see as well. How about you, Drop? What was also your favorite moments to see from this match and the callbacks overall from John and his promo?
I mean, it basically would have to be a lot of the moves he was calling back to when it comes to a lot of the opponents because you got Kevin Owens, you have Kurt Angle. There's just so many to throw in there. CM Punk. I mean, I just really like this version of John because this version of John feels a lot more excited than before. Like, this feels like the John that we should have gotten in the beginning of the year. And I mean, as much as I was curious to see where the heel turn could have gone, I honestly wish it never happened if we were going to be getting this version of John Cena. Because, I mean, ever since he turned face again, this is what we should be getting the entire time because he just feels more natural. He feels more like himself. He's putting on better matches. Like, every match that John has had ever since SummerSlam with Cody, it's been very good. Like, him and Cody, him and Logan Paul, even that match that him and Sami Zayn had before it got interrupted, it was a very good match. Like, John was like keeping up and he was doing a lot of things. He was pulling a lot of things out of his bag that he doesn't typically do. And that's something I really appreciate because it just added more flavor to the match itself. It got me invested. And I like how we also have that moment with him and Sami in the beginning where he's just, looking back all those years ago when Sami was called up to the main roster where John Cena put out his hand for him, and now he's putting out his hand for John Cena, and he's carrying on that legacy that John Cena did with that title, and that's something I could really appreciate. I always love parallels. I always love looking at things, like always going back in time and then looking back at it in the future. It was just a very wholesome moment, and it's just crazy to think that here we are. You know, his last SmackDown appearance, we only have a couple months left before he officially retires. Like it's just gonna hit really hard, and I'm just glad that he has the opportunity to at least mix it up with a couple people. Like even the thing with AJ Styles at Clash in Paris, like that was probably somebody that he wanted to work with, but he did say that he used that move because he wanted to pay homage to him. And I feel like that's probably a couple things that he was doing. Like when it comes to the spear, like they've mentioned people from AEW before, like they mentioned Daniel Bryan before, so they shouldn't feel afraid to mention Edge. But obviously that was an homage to Edge, somebody that I personally wish was still in the company that could have done something with him a little bit before he decided to go off on his own. And it's just nice, like just to see like all these people that he had rich history with, like getting featured in this match itself. Like I really wish the RKO was executed and he was able to, you know, do something with it, but that's nor here or there. I'm just glad that it was at least thought of in his head where he was able to do something with it to know, like, yeah, Randy, you know, I'm paying homage to you and everything. So I really did like this opening segment to the show. I thought it was nice to have John Cena talk to the crowd. I thought we got a good match out of him and Sami. I wish we could have gotten more out of it, but all in all, though, it was very fun, and I just loved what these two did. And if you're gonna have somebody keeping that legacy that John Cena had with that U.S. title and looking at the work ethic of Sami Zayn, I mean, that's probably the perfect person to do that with.
Yeah, and I think it ties in really well with another story going on, which, you know, I'll just throw in here because it is part of our quick fire segment. So I'm just gonna throw it in here so we can just at least kind of mention it a little bit. The whole Carmelo Hayes thing, where he's, you know, he keeps asking for an opportunity, keeps begging for an opportunity. Well, here comes your opportunity coming up here with Sami Zayn doing an open challenge for the U.S. title. I mean, I'm expecting Carmelo Hayes to at least being one of them, if not like trying multiple times, maybe, because it is an open challenge, so it's, you know, first come first serve at that point. So I mean, you know, and they can continue the whole story with him and the Miz through that and all that. That's fine and all that. Especially how they did it, you know, tonight with him being like, "Oh, you don't let me talk," and blah blah blah, all that shit. So, you know,
I have a
this
theory.
is just a good way to do that. Yeah.
I have a theory. So, theory one is Carmelo will go for the U.S. Open Challenge in 1 week, or the Miz will go first, and then Carmelo will follow up right after and do much better than the Miz.
Actually,
so that's my theory that may happen one or the other. What's up, Drop?
I was gonna say I can actually see it working like this, where it's not necessarily one person this week or one person afterwards. I can honestly see it being one of these things, since it's a reoccurring theme with Miz, when Melo accepts the challenge, but Miz does this to him, and he walks out instead.
Yeah.
Like he wants to do it himself, but Miz is like, no, I'm doing this for me, because that's all he's really doing. It's just he's just stealing opportunities from him. It's just never even ground for both of them.
Agree. So that's a good theory of mine. And also talking about John Cena, that he's appearing on, by the way, chat, if you guys aren't watching this and you guys are going to Madison Square Garden, New York, I will 100% do my almighty best and be there in the crowd. And also for the last tour, the last wrestling match that was originally supposed to be in Boston, because we're most likely going to be talking about this again this coming Thursday for the next Grappling with the Week show. But Grappling, John Cena is not in Boston for his last match. It will be Washington, D.C. Myself and Whawkins will do our best to be there as well. So you might catch us up there. And when he's on Raw for this coming November for 2 shows, he could also wrestle AJ Styles since he's on Raw. That's my hope. And I hope so. I feel like in Massacre Garden, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Please put it in my veins. I would love to watch that and be there live.
AJ needs to get that IC title, and then him and Johnny to have
Yeah,
a fight.
Yeah, he should have done it
Yo,
on
and then
Monday.
he could become Grand Slam.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all John
Yes.
needs to do.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
last
Just hold
thing.
it for a good month. Hold it for a good month, and then you lose it at your last match in DC. Yes.
Or just
Yes.
do us a
Make it become
favor.
Grand Slam like that.
Or just do us a favor and just take it off of Dom.
Yeah. Either way, just
Yeah.
take it. Just get it. Just
Yeah.
get that last thing, dude. Just get that
Yeah.
last little thing. But
And hold the open challenge with the IC title on every PLE or every time you're at a arena.
well, you know, that
Yeah,
that could be a thing as well. But but first and foremost, before he can even think about going for that IC title,
Is
he's
he
got
gonna
another
survive?
wall. He's got another wall he's got to get through, plow through, if that. Because if you thought this match was going to have a legit winner, you're
Oh.
just crazy. Because this match just screamed like as soon as Sammy came out, I'm sure me and some other people knew exactly what's going to happen. We're going to have this open challenge. It's going to be a banger of a match. And then lo and behold, a certain beast incarnate comes out, ruins the match for everybody, becomes a good old blue ball cuck for everybody. That's right. Cuck Lesnar came out to ruin everybody's night, to F5 Sami Zayn, F5 John Cena twice, get rid of the referee. And then as he's leaving, going through Gorilla, he's just like, John Cena, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch. And yeah, the match just gets official right there. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. Again, say what you want about Lesnar. Everybody has our opinions, whether you love him, hate him, or are in between with it. You guys heard most of our rants from SummerSlam and all that, but we're getting this match either way. How are we feeling about everything? Because we know, I think what John's next appearance is on the 15th of September, which is Monday Night Raw. But we're getting Lesnar next week on SmackDown. So I guess he's finally going to speak, finally going to talk, hopefully explain why the hell he's attacking Cena, because he didn't do that with Cody when they started their little program. But, that's neither here nor there. So I guess what do you guys? I'm gonna start with Drop with this first. So Drop, what do you think? What are your expectations when it comes to Lesnar's promo for next week on SmackDown? And just this match, just in general, do you see this main eventing WrestlePalooza? Do you see this as a John Cena win here, or do you think he's gonna lose and have to overcome adversity, blah blah blah, all that BS that he's all known about? What are your thoughts on all this?
Oh, I mean, I don't really know if I'm gonna. See that was one of the things I did say when he came out. I don't really expect much out of him to really build the match. I feel like that's more on John, really shed some light to everything, because all he really did when he came backstage, he's like, you and me, John, at WrestlePalooza, and that's it. Yeah, he's gonna be there next week on SmackDown, but what is he gonna say? And that's been an ongoing issue I had with Brock Lesnar ever since he had that whole thing of Cody Rhodes. We never got a legitimate reason as to why he targeted Cody Rhodes. It was just that one night after Cody lost to Roman for the first time, he came out to back up Cody. They had that main event match. It was him and Cody against Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And then before the bell even rang, he just F5'd Cody. He beat him up. Cody was out for a little bit. They had that little brawl. No explanation at all as to why Brock Lesnar targeted Cody. And Cody even made it apparent himself when he asked, okay, why are we doing this? And again, that was under Vince when all that whole thing was going on. So obviously we never really got an explanation to that. What is it here? Is it just past hatred? Is it something else that's blooming? Does he not like John Cena having the spotlight on him because it's his retirement tour? I mean, I don't really expect him to really say much when he comes there next week. Like, what is it going to be? Oh, I don't like you, John. We're going to do this and that. That's it. I mean, that's like typical thing with like Brock Lesnar. And I don't see it main eventing. I do see the mixed tag match main eventing. So this could possibly be before that match, or possibly open up the show, or toss there in between, whatever. But I mean, I don't know. He never really says much. Like that's the issue. It's like, if he said a little more, maybe I could be like, okay, let's see what he's gonna say. But he's never really shown us that he's able to like tell a story or anything to like really reel you in and actually give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, because I think the most he's done with that is probably like the last stuff he did with Roman, like leading up to that last man standing match. And even then it was just kind of basic stuff too. But like that I mean, that's when we got like Cowboy Brock and all that stuff. So I mean, hopefully he actually has something to say next week when
Yeah.
he comes out. Maybe a little bit more, maybe again an explanation at least would be nice, so we can at least be invested in the match, besides just the spectacle and the money that is seeing Brock Lesnar live and all that. So yeah, we'll have to see when it comes to all of that. But what about you, Vash? How you feeling about this match, and like any expectations you have going into it?
When it comes to Brock Lesnar himself coming back, I don't like. I saw it happening. We spoke about last night. We spoke about on our thread. We knew that the rumors, the reports that John Cena versus Brock Lesnar are going to be coming back for WrestlePalooza. That's going to probably be one of the matches. We heard that being a possibility. Coming to this, I knew. Chat. We had Sami Zayn, who's the champion. He can't lose because he literally just got it like last week. And John Cena, who's literally on his last 8 dates to finish the run. They're not going to have him lose. And he literally just hyped himself up saying that, hey, guys, I just had to get my shit together. I'm back on my groove. I got my A game. I am Super Cena. I am a Super Saiyan, level 2 right now. What the fuck is either of these people going to lose? So the perfect way is have somebody come out, literally drag the ref out, be like, scooch, yeet. I'm sorry, I was laughing when Brock Lesnar literally just came, I come here do my job. I literally got called in, flew in, yeet, yeet the referee. All right, Sammy, 1 F5, 2 F5 to John Cena, come out. You and me, John Cena, at WrestlePalooza. Bitch, I see you over there. That's all. Like, that's my funny way of just seeing it. Like, it's just, I can imagine Brock in his voice, off camera, just be like, all right, guys, I did that. All right, cool. All good, done. I am out. Deuces. Like, he literally came to work. Do I personally, Miguel / Vash, give a fuck about it? No. But as a critic entertainer, it was fun. Cool to see. He came in, he came out, he did his job, he said his one line. Was it flat as out and one-dimensional? Hell yes. Because guess what, chat? If you didn't know, Brock Lesnar is a one-dimensional character. Because we don't know much shit and care about him. All he is known as for is that he's a beast incarnate.
Yeah. And I mean, I did see some rumors, and I don't know if you guys saw this either. Apparently, he did sign a new deal. So apparently, what went down was, he was still getting paid from his old deal while he was away from everything because of the whole Janelle Grant stuff going on. So that was happening. But like, apparently, when he did come back, he did sign a new deal, which does have limited appearances from him. So, I guess it doesn't look like he's going to be around for too long. He's just going to be around for sporadic moments here and there and all that, which good. The star that he is at the age that he is, I mean, yeah, he should probably be an attraction more than a mainstay on the roster.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine then. If that's the case, good. Just don't give him a title then. That's all I asked then.
Yeah, like the only thing I really want to see out of him is like not the title thing, but I don't necessarily mind seeing him have matches with particular people. like we discussed in our chat. You know, Evo Nerd says he'd like to see Brock Lesnar against Braun Breaker. Okay, I can get behind that. Bronson Reed, I can get behind that. Gunther versus Lesnar, I know, is a match people wanted a couple years ago at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because it actually was in
That's
the
something
card.
Gunther wanted.
Yeah, that was something Gunther wanted as well. So if that comes to light again, I wouldn't mind stuff like that. See, if there's like certain matches they want to do, I don't particularly mind. I just don't want any titles involved here. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
As long as the title's not involved, I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think that seems to be the consensus around here. Is just like, hey, just leave any titles out of the picture, and we should be fine. So, yeah, I mean, the match between Brock and John, it will be what it will be. Especially from Brock, because like it's been a hot minute since he's been in a wrestling ring. So, I mean, and not saying
he's out.
Shit.
He's out in the farm training with those animals, probably doing F5 to a cow, probably doing something, trying to get them ready. You know, he's out there in the farm, you know, being Brock Lesnar, like Triple H has always has said usually.
Yeah, so I mean, it will be what it will be. So we'll see what happens when WrestlePalooza comes around. So stay tuned on September 20th when that happens, because there's going to be that show along with AEW. So let's move right along to another title picture that I know we're just so ready to get and dive into. The Women's US title picture. So we had a match tonight, again, from Giulia taking on Michin for Giulia's title. That match was fine. You know, Giulia wins, obviously, after, you know, some interference with Kiana James and Michin taking the obvious bait and all that. There's a couple caveats with this. So, for one, you know, I'm glad they're getting time on TV. At least they got time and all that. But like, it feels weird because the women's US title in particular doesn't feel that special at all.
No.
Like, and I'll go ahead and say it. Ever since Chelsea Green dropped it to Zelina, it has not felt like anything good at all. It just felt like kind of a prop to just hold on to, which sucks because like you look at who's holding the title right now, and that's Giulia. Giulia's a lot better than what she's being portrayed as right now. And another thing too, I just kind of want to nitpick as well. The attack last week where Giulia did that like move to Michin like on the steps, where it's like, oh, let me basically face plant you face first into the freaking steel steps. You would think maybe like a week to sell that attack might happen. No,
or
Michin's fine. Like,
or have a band-aid over your head.
It's something and all that. So like there was a part of me that's like, why are we not selling that? Or, you know, why aren't we just doing more with what happened last week? Because that was a pretty gnarly move. Like, I mean, say what you want about how it was executed or how it looked on TV and all that, but like kayfabe aside, that is a gnarly move to take, and you're not gonna sell that. It's just next week. Hey, you got the match, you got your title match. I would expected it at least next week at the earliest after something like that, but I don't know. I mean, the match is fine, I guess. I want more for Giulia, man. Like, they barely use her on TV. Like, they lumped her with somebody who's as cold as freaking Mr. Freeze's wife, who's literally on ice in like absolute zero temperature and all that. And yet you stick Giulia with somebody as cold as that. Like, come on, man. Just have Giulia on the show, kicking people's asses. That's all you need from her. Just and do the whole thing like you do with EO and all that, where it's like, oh, here's a pre-recorded promo segment for Giulia that has subtitles to it because, you know, as good as her English is, you know, maybe some people need a little extra help to understand her and all that. Maybe that's just the thing with them, but the sticker with somebody like Kiana James, I mean, I don't know, man. Vash, what did you think of this?
To agree with you on this point. Also, a big shout out to Evil Nerd slash Jeff. Is 100% that Michin and Giulia both deserve better. Zelina was a good champion, but the booking was bad. That was not a good presentation for these wrestlers slash characters. We have Giulia that is working good, has good wardrobe character with the braids. She's showing the whole menacing aspect, but is so bad at the failing that it doesn't feel like a good match. There's no pop for her. The pop for her is dead. With Kiana James, it doesn't look like it's working out. Like, it's cool to see that, but as myself or the audience, we don't give a fuck about it. Kiana James has no pop, no power, no nothing. Sometimes they're so inconsistent to have the NXT stuff being canon to the main roster. Now it is. So it's very confusing in what they're trying to portray or what's their goal with this. I agree that they should do something like Io Sky when they have done their feuds with other characters in the ring with other wrestlers, but then you're not going to do it with a big star like Giulia, seeing that you could do something like that with her, have her win or have her version of a US Open Challenge, show her being dominant. You could tell a story within the wrestling. As long as wrestling is good, even if they lose, they're winning the audience over by the good wrestling like other wrestlers has done within the product. So why are you going to have them not even be shown on TV time? And when you do, it's just a quick match. I believe what I saw, it was like a 7-minute match. Or was it right here? Yeah, a 7 minutes and 30 seconds that fell flat. Was I locking paying attention? No. And that's sad to say because I'm supposed to watch the product, to review the product, and talk about it in the feedback. When I'm not even watching a lock-in, that's not good because that means the product is not keeping me entertained or interested enough because it feels very lackluster. And as a fan, I'm disappointed. As a critic, this is fucking bad product, and I'm going to be upfront about it. That we should have Giulia much better. I believe we wrote it in the thread that this is her second title defense out of 68 days, was it right?
69 days, because
69.
Nice.
Nice. I agree. So out of 69 days to have a 2 title defense, because now, just quick statement, chat. I've been rooting for a title of a mid-card from both brands. However, Whawkins and Drop early in the year or late last year, they was rooting for one mid-card title to share between both brands. Now this is kind of proving the point of how the booking is not keeping it consistent for both titles of a mid-card to actually be presentable.
Well, I mean that's just the thing, because it's like you have a women's world title for both shows. You have literally the women's world title and the WWE women's title. And then you have your mid card titles, and then you have your women's tag titles. But it's like you don't have the women's roster depth on both shows to really have those 3 titles on all 3 shows. I mean, yeah, the women's tag titles are mainly on SmackDown right now, if we're being honest. But like even then, it's just like even on Raw, we kind of get to this issue, especially when the women's titles are over there. So it's like just have one floating women's like mid-card title, or hell, if you want to have the 2 women's mid-card titles, fine, then have one world women's championship. Like that would, both of those options would solve every issue they have when it comes to the women's division and their titles. Like
Agree.
yeah, just it would solve all those issues. It would make for like not only better matches, but like better quality matches and like better stories too, because then like you can actually run more stories that aren't based off titles, which are also really good, everybody. That's also a good thing too. Stories without titles can and will be good as long as you give a shit about them. But yeah, again, you just kind of got to care about them. That's basically it with that. But what about you, Drop? How do you feel about this women's US title picture going on right now?
I expected a lot more out of this, especially when Giulia came onto the main roster, because the way that she's being portrayed right now, it feels like she's an afterthought. Because I would expect the way that Stephanie Vaquer is being treated, I would expect Giulia to at least be around that point where she's at least getting featured heavily and actually promoting her, because she is going to be one of the people in the company that should be really high on there on the charts when it comes to the future of the women's division. It's just what they're doing right now with her and Kiana, which I'll admit I gave it some credibility at first because I thought it had potential. Because I was like, okay, you know, you got Kiana with her, she can help her with promos if they're trying to build up feuds, you know, etc., so on. But just looking at it now, it just seems like it's just filler. Like, it's like, I want to care about this because I do care about Giulia, but at the same time, it's just making me not care. Like, this is one of the things, and I hate to say it, but this is one of the things where I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I can go upstairs, I can get myself a cup of water, run to the restroom or something, and I'm not going to miss a thing. And I shouldn't have to say that, but that's legit how this feels. Like, why is the women's US title in this position still? Because sure, the women's IC title was struggling for a little bit at first, but now it's at a level where there's credibility behind it. Becky Lynch has it. We could be getting in a future program between her and AJ Lee in the near future, so that's only going to enhance it even more. The women's US title hasn't felt the same ever since Chelsea Green lost it. It just felt very lackluster. They're not really leveling up or doing anything new that would really fix anything. Like, why is Jordan Gray still in NXT? If I were to give someone the US title to have a run with it and actually make it matter, I would give it to Jordan Grace, because what she's doing
And she
there
could have
at
done some beautiful US Open challenges.
yeah, because what she's doing in NXT right now is nothing. Like, she got out of a feud between Blake Monroe, which she lost, and now they're teasing tension between them again. Like, we can't keep running this back more and more. You lost.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Uso said to Jay, you lost. You gotta get up from it. You gotta
move on.
Yeah. So have her a part of the main roster. I mean, she's ready. You don't have to keep her down there. You can give the spotlight to Blake Monroe, because that's pretty much who you're building right there. And you have all people from ID and Evolve and all this different kinds of shit that you could easily factor in there and have them, you know, take one person out, bring one person in, just do something. It's like Jordan Grace and Giulia having a program over a title like this, I would care. And the thing with Michin, she feels like an afterthought too, and I hate to say that, but she's literally been in the same position almost for a year, fighting for this title that she's never going to win.
Well, like, that's the thing. She feels like the typical first defense. Like, almost like the Dolph Ziggler of the freaking women's division, where it's like, oh, you've got a title? I'll be your first opponent. It's like, oh, great. Cool. Thanks. You're not going to win it, but great. Cool. Neat. Get out of here. Like, and that sucks because, like, Michin is good. It's just like, again, it's just the way they present her and the way that they book her is just like she is the first challenger. That's it. That's your tweet. That's your lot. Cool, great. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a good match. See you guys next week for whoever Giulia has to face after that, which you know they're gonna run this back because of how everything transpired with Kiana James interfering and
another match.
Freaking Michin being like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you." Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, great, cool. Now we're gonna have to get a rematch.
We don't need it. Like, look, I'm a big Michin fan. Whawkins is. We saw them back on Saturday Night Main Event back in December. It was cool moments for these things to happen, but for Michin, it's like she deserves better, and the booking it just is not working well for her. She is the fighting champion. They gotta switch her character, probably make it babyface, or probably lose the gangster hard life attitude. Like it was working well in NXT when you was teaming up with what's her name? With Jada Parker at one point. That was some cool stuff you did. But you've been doing great when you go down NXT. Maybe rework yourself, probably do something I recall like Baron Corbin did, like do something in that sense. But like go down there and work there for a while.
Yeah. It's just like, man, I mean, yes, both women deserve more than this, but especially Giulia, man. Like,
Yeah, it
she
feels
came in
really
with like
awkward.
all these freaking fireworks and all that shit, and it's just like, look what they're giving her now. And I mean, you had mentioned Stephanie Vaquero earlier. I mean, she could kind of be lumped in this. I mean, when's the last time she had a freaking match on TV? Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I get it. She's technically number one contender for the women's world title, which, yes, again, she should be. But like, again, just she needs to be on TV more, and not just in like a quick backstage segment that lasts barely a minute. Have her in a damn match, man. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. You have your sports entertainment. Cool, great. I get that. Awesome. Fan freaking tastic. It's also a wrestling product. Let's have some wrestling on our shows and all that. Like, whether good or bad, like that's the thing. Like, whether you like this match or not, at least it was a wrestling match. Like at least they had some sort of action tonight. Which again, Vash kind of said it too. We had three matches tonight in a 2-hour show. 3 matches.
Yeah.
And the one that got the most time was the men's US title, which fair with that one. But like this one could have gotten just a little bit more time, but also just like just
Hey,
a little bit more love from whoever the producers were for it too.
I'm just happy that they had a 7-minute match, because back then we didn't get a 7-minute match of a woman. Back then, when they get 2 or 3 minutes. So still, I'm complaining about good things, chat, and also WE. Anybody listening that might thinking that we didn't like the event or not, like this was a good product. We just expected better. We expect better from this lady, as Julie has been a fan, international, and is loved by the fans and the audience of how great of a wrestler she is, and brutal her tactician, her style. And also Michin, we have seen her come up from NXT to now. We want her to be better. We want her to be in a better position. That's the whole thing is, and I hope for the best. They deserve better. Maybe Giulia has to learn something from Sami or AK the booking. Like, hey, maybe what we did with the men's version, we should do this with the women's version. Let's have an open challenge tonight for her every week or something. Let's show her product. Let's show how good she is, so the fans can actually give a fucking pop in Chicago. Why is in Chicago, one of the loudest city in the fucking US, so quiet during this match? No pop. Not once for Giulia.
Dude,
So silent. It's disappointing.
It's because Kiana James is ice cold, and Giulia, because they barely use her, is also kind of cold, which
Yeah, it
sucks to
sucks. It
say.
does suck.
But
Yeah.
she was hotter in NXT than she has been on the whole goddamn main roster.
I
Like,
wish her husband
this
was
is what
here.
happens when you don't use your damn talent that you fucking have.
I wish
Like,
her husband.
sorry, everybody. It's just like it's so annoying that's like you have the talent to use. Just use it, utilize it, build them up as they are and can be, and go from there. Because there's money not only in Giulia, but like I had mentioned his name earlier. Freaking Carmelo Hayes. He's also one that's also money. Just you have the talent. Use it. It's not that freaking hard. I can do it on 2K. I can literally do it on a damn video game. Why can't you do it in real life? Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
oof.
literally no excuse. I mean, if you've shown before that you're able to put effort in a lot of things, yet with this one thing you decide to not do anything at all. And that doesn't make any sense, because I mean, be creative, take ideas. We've seen what you do behind the scenes. I mean, not hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that hard to do at all. It's not like trying to take a kick to the face and try to wrestling a match in a kayfabe concussion and all that. It's not anything like that or anything. But anything else that we need to say about this whole women's U.S. title picture and all that?
We expect better. We hope better for these ladies.
Yeah, hopefully.
Get better booking.
Yeah,
Maybe have a match in WrestlePalooza. Who knows? ESPN.
maybe.
Maybe we should have another match of the US or something involving. Good luck. That's all.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But you know what? I had mentioned somebody wrestling with a concussion or at least a kayfabe concussion. Let's go on to our third match that we had tonight. Damian Priest taking on Aleister Black. So this has been something that's been building up for like the past few weeks with like Aleister Black losing to freaking R-Truth and all that via roll up, and just because of Damian Priest being involved and all that, they've been starting this feud and everything. And the match itself, like it started off even before the bell rang with Aleister Black pressing that X button during Damian Priest's entrance and attacking him before he could get to the ring. Damian Priest selling this attack throughout the match. Again, like he had a damn concussion. So hopefully you're actually fine, Damian Priest. And you're not actually concussed. That would suck if you were, because that's not something to really play around with if you have that legit injury. The match itself, though, was pretty dang good. Like a lot of hard strikes going on throughout. Aleister Black mainly on top, at least through the commercial break, and then when it came back, Damian Priest being on top, doing a damn razor's edge onto the announce table, which leads to the finish of this match where Damian Priest is going for the South of Heaven, but Aleister Black also grabs the referee to kind of anchor himself to the to the ground and all that. And it's enough to get Damian Priest being like, "Oh, what the fudge nuggets is going on?" Aleister Black pushes the referee into Damian Priest, lands his black mass, 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black wins the match. Again, I thought the match was pretty good, very much hard hitting, and I'm expecting another one with these two because of how this match went down. Maybe add a stipulation like maybe last man standing. I think these two can make some
Yes.
good magic with like a last man standing match regarding how this feud has been going. But Drop, I'm going to start with you with this one. What'd you think of the match, the story moving forward with everything, and maybe a possible stipulation after this? What'd you think of all this?
I honestly want them to have a match on a pay-per-view because I feel like you could probably get more out of it. Like Evil Nerd said in the chat, like you need to put these guys on an actual PLE match to really get the most of it because, I mean, look at what we got with Sheamus and Rusev. We got the most of it with them on a PLE. I feel like these two really need to be on a PLE so they could really show that magic between the both of them because I just want to see more. I always feel like whenever I see these two together, there's like so much that they can do, but they're not putting as much effort as I want them to put towards this. Because, I mean, sure, there was hard strikes throughout the match itself. You obviously had Priest selling the concussion he had before. And then, of course, you had Aleister Black putting him to sleep afterwards with the Black Mist. But to me, I just feel like there's more room on the plate that they can give us. Like that's how I personally feel with this. I just feel like there's more that they can do with this.
Totally.
It just felt like something was missing when I was watching this, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And most of the time when we get a match like that, like you're describing, we usually do get like a good series of matches from the people and all that, which I'm expecting that from here.
I would say that my question to you guys, because would you guys want this match in Aleister Black versus Damian Priest in WrestlePalooza, or I'd rather have their match in a PLE in October, something horror-like style because of Aleister Black, where he's more of of the supernatural, more of like he's trying to get the revenge, his type of dark style. Same thing with Damian Priest, he's like
whatever gothic type of style he has. So
Mhm.
I would love to see their entrance, their persona in a horror theme in the month of October. If we're having a PLE like horror theme, like Bad Blood or not, I'm not sure if we do. I don't recall what's the next PLE, but
Um, I mean, honestly, like to kind of answer your question right there, I would kind of end it at WrestlePalooza because this has kind of been something that's been steaming for the past couple months, if I remember correctly. Like the
I
match
believe it's
Aleister Black had with R-Truth, that was like back in
in
July, I
June.
think.
In the end of June, I believe it
June.
was.
Well, see, even then, like, I mean, we're already like 3 months away from June. 3? Yeah, 3
Yes.
months away from June, so it's like, yeah, I would kinda end it at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, which
I
is
see what you
fine.
mean with that, but it depends on when that PLE in October is, and I I I don't think this feud really has the legs to really make it that long, unless they do a thing where it's like, oh, Damian Priest is actually injured with a kayfabe concussion or something because
Yep.
of the black mass and all that. So they can always sell it like that, I guess. But I really don't know if it has the legs to really make it towards October. But again, depends on when that event is. What about you, Drop?
I feel like at the very least you could probably do something up until WrestlePalooza.
I'm sorry, the chat. Even a casket match. I would love that. I love that.
Oh,
That
that'd
The
be
would
sick.
work.
next PLE after WrestlePalooza is No Mercy, Death for NXT. So that's more not their division. It's Crown Jewel in October 11th, and then after that is Halloween Havoc, but that's more NXT. So the next one for us to
Mhm.
really do a theme is Crown Jewel. I don't know if they might do a casket match, but I would love that. That will fucking work for Damian Priest since people call him the Temu version of Undertaker. So if we get something like that with Aleister
Yeah.
Black and everything, that would be
Wait,
amazing.
Temu Undertaker? What?
I don't want to say the other name.
What, bisexual Undertaker? You can say that. You can
It's just
say that shit.
hilarious. It's just
Yeah.
hilarious. It's just like,
Fucking
yeah.
Temu Undertaker. Get out of here with that Temu Undertaker BS. He's bisexual Undertaker. He and look, that that diva thrives on that name.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is 100% true. He is proud of it and everything. But
Yeah.
I feel like Crown Jewel will be a good spot. A casket match would be awesome to actually do something. But WrestlePalooza will be a good spot since by then it will be 3 months after this feud has been going on, like right around that time. So that also works for it as well. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love what's going on with Aleister Black. I love what's going on with Damian Priest. He still is being, you know, relevant within the story, within the main roster, without being from Judgment Day, without going for the main title. So it's just him being involved with Aleister Black and also elevating each other with the match, and also still having a little pre-match right before the actual bell rings was also good. Was
Mhm.
also good to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it was fun, but I'm kind of with Drop here. It's just like I want a little bit more from them, which I think, again, I think we will get a little bit more. It's just I don't see it going past WrestlePalooza again unless some sort of injury angle happens. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see how everything plays out. But that basically does it for our mid card stories. We've got a couple quick fire segments to hit here. So again, I had already mentioned the whole thing with like the Miz and Carmelo Hayes in the back. We had a Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre video segment, sponsored, of course, by Twisted Tea, because they're both twisted in the mind. You get it? You get the reference? You get the marketing that they're going with that? Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? Isn't that fantastic? Anyways, they have a match next week. Cool, awesome, fan flipping tastic. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill also have a match next week, a SummerSlam rematch happening for the title. So we'll have to see what happens with all that. And of course, the power of friendship is always on the line and always the biggest force to be reckoned with when it comes to wrestling or shonen anime or whatever have you. But the power of friendship will heal Charlotte Flair's knee so that way her and Alexa can get the proper revenge towards the Secret Service for their titles and all that. Guys, any thoughts on these quickfire segments before we head towards the ending of our show? Vash, what about you? Let's start with you with this.
I was in mid process in my thoughts. I was just reading what is really like trolling out my attention. You caught me mid process of reading the last thing on it. The power of friendship. When I read that, I think of two things. I don't know why. In chat, I'm gonna be upfront. The two things that reminds me is one, it's Fairy Tale, the power of friendship. Two is Dragon Tales. I the power of friendship. If you guys know Dragon Tales, when you
Yep.
have to hold the stone and you have to sing the song to get back to their world and everything. Yeah, chat. My brain went there. I'm like, yo, the power of friendship will heal, and I get to sing the song. Yeah, I don't know, chat. In my head, I went there. Both Fairy Tale and Dragon Tale.
Watkins.
There's no correlation. It's just both of them.
Watkins
power of
about to
friendship,
get
y'all.
up. Watkins about to get up and leave. He's gonna break the wrist and walk away.
Look, I would have accepted freaking ponies right here at this point.
You never thought I was gonna go from Fairy Tale to Dragon Tale. You never thought I was gonna go with those two things with the power of friendship, right?
Jungle Boy
Y'all,
Perry.
y'all a little younger than me, so y'all grew up with Dragon Tales. So that's fine. I'll let that slide or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I never grew up. I took care of I was like a babysitter with my mom, so I took care of people. So I put it. So I was more aware of it. That's why. So that's why I know of things that was a bit younger than me, or I grew in it. So that's why I knew of it. And I was, I was babysitting, taking care of kids. I was singing the song with them. But overall, the power of friendship will heal Charlotte and give revenge on the Secret Her service. Do I care about it?
Yeah.
No, but it's funny and cute when Charlotte tries to be a bit different of her character. That's something I appreciate. We've been asking that since early this year when she was a two-time Royal Rumble winner, and she did what she did. So we're here now. Cool stuff. One thing that was not here for Quickfire, and one thing I'm disappointed that we didn't get them, a lot of people was questioning from Clash of Paris, is the Street Profits. They were not mentioned. They were not discussed. They were not brought up. So I'm really curious to see what storyline is going from their Street Profits, because right now, your boy is sad as fuck because I don't know where the story's going. That's straight
We'll
up.
find out next week.
So that's
do a
one
segment
thing.
next
I
week.
know.
Yeah.
It's just I'm a bit like yo. I don't want, my fear is, I'm gonna state this out right now, chat. Is that my fear is that they see the greatness of Montez Ford, and I don't want Angelo Dawson to be an afterthought, because he's also great too. He makes Montez Ford awesome too because of how great the dynamic is, and whoever Angelo Dawson is in the ring with, they have great chemistry. So I don't want people to forget him because of how good he is. So that's something that, as a fan of both of the Street Profits overall. But hey, we might get another mixed tag team in the future. We might get Angelo Dawson and B-Fab, and we might get Montez Ford and his wife, Bianca Belair. But hey, just throwing that random theory in the future, probably 3-4 months from now, who knows? But those are two things I really care about. Randy and Drew, I don't got much other than Twisted T is your commercial ad sponsor plug-in right there property. I do want to give a big shout out to WWE. They know how to put and insert their ads at the perfect storylines. It kind of is very on the nose, but it's very well done. So props to you.
You know what? Fair. They have been getting better with their product placement besides just putting a Slim Jim logo on a table, or the Fireball logo on a ladder. They've at least tried, with Randy Orton last week being like, hey, don't worry, Nick Aldis, just drink this Fireball and you'll feel so much better after what I've done. Oh, hey, here's Twisted Tea with a sponsor for a match against two guys who are kind of twisted in the mind, especially one who hears voices inside of his head 24/7. Isn't that great, guys? Isn't that cool? Is that neat? Drop, what do you think of these quick fire segments? Any thoughts that come to your mind?
So, I mean, I'm interested to see the Randy and Drew match, so that should be fun next week. Tiffany and Jade, I don't know. I don't feel anything for that, if I'm being perfectly honest. Nia being there.
I haven't done shit with it. But
Nia being there doesn't help either. Um, then we have the whole thing with Charlotte and Alexa. I feel like I probably like that most out of these three talking points right here. I felt like that was probably the one that had. I guess I felt a little more there, so I am curious to see where things are gonna go with that. So I am looking forward to seeing what they're going to be doing with those tag titles moving forward. So that should be fun whenever we dive into it. But I wish I could talk more about the women's title picture when it comes to like the main title on SmackDown, but I mean she's just an afterthought at this point. So I mean we talked about last night about the draft not a thing anymore. I mean if the draft's not going to be a thing, I mean this just tells me straight up you need to start switching people around.
please move Nia. Please move Nia.
Like
just
that's another
away.
person I wouldn't mind being involved in the women's US title picture. At least it's something different for her.
Yeah, why isn't she involved in that? Like, oh my god.
I do agree. Like also Tiffany, like I don't know what's I don't know what's with Triple H once he makes EO or other people become title holders, that they become a backstage afterthought. They're like, hey, we're gonna only do you a segment. You're gonna appear on this podcast tomorrow. You're gonna do this guy. Like, bro, stop forgetting about them. They're wrestlers. Having the wrestle match is fine if they take a W and like they don't need to put the title on the line. They could just have, hey guys, we're gonna have you a match and you're gonna just win. That's it. There's no title match on the line. I just don't get why he's fear.
Here's the thing. Here's kind of how I've rationalized it, and like you can look back on history with Triple H's booking, and even with NXT too. Like he's one of those guys who like when he books a champion, they literally only have championship matches. Which you know what, fair. You know what? Because I don't want your little championship eliminator. Because if you beat a champion, you know, at least knowing WWE 50-50 booking and all that, I know for a fact that the champion's probably going to come out on top. It's very uncommon for the challenger to come out on top after like a freaking eliminator match. And I only use the term eliminator match because AEW kind of made that a thing, and they had that going on for God knows how long. Now they're just hooked on freaking all-star tag matches, which that's a whole other idea to just freaking bitch and moan about that they do and all that. So it's like I get the booking with it where it's like, okay, we're not going to have the champion on or at least wrestling every single week. But you got to do something with them. You got to do something like you got to have the talent pool to really do that with. And what I mean by the talent pool is you got to have the amount of talent for all that. Because, like, if you're going to do that with your champions, okay, great. Then at least have the weekly product, the weekly, like, stories going on, have those be non title things. But it's kind of hard to do that, especially with your women's division when most of them are your title contenders. Like, look at how the IC title was on Raw for a bit. Like Becky had to face freaking Maxine Dupree and Natalia. Like fucking Maxine Dupree, you know, say what you want about Natalia, you know, she's a former women's champion. Yes, so she should be going for a mid-card title right now at that point. But like Maxine Dupree, they're both in a tag team too as well, Maxine and Natalia. They're not going for the tag titles or anything. They could give two shits about the fucking tag titles. I don't know, man. It's just again, it just ties into the whole thing of just like maybe less titles can do more. Oh my god, it's that fucking concept. Sorry, I know I'm cussing a lot tonight, but my apologies, everybody. But it's just like it's just that dang concept where it's like you can have less, but you could do more with it. Like less championships means you can do more with the talent that don't have a title. They have to fight for it. They have to pry for it. They have to claw for it. They have to like earn that title shot. They have to earn that glory and all that. The glory to like be at the top, to be like, yeah, the only matches I have are title matches. The only matches I participate in are the big money matches at these big PLEs. Like that is what a champion is and should be, you know. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't always have to be a PLE. Like again, tonight we had 2 championship matches. We had 2 US title matches, which is fine. It's good. It's all good and all that. But like those are the matches that they should be having. But you still need to at least highlight your talent on these shows. You know, you can't just have Giulia being in a less than 1 minute backstage segment where she doesn't even talk at all and all that. Like you can't just do that. Like at least have her out there. At least have her doing something. At least have her like going out there after a match and kicking somebody's ass or something. I don't just like there's so much other things you can be doing to help keep your champions legitimate and all that. Like that's one thing I will praise AEW about. They actually do a pretty good job with their champions and like making them feel special when they actually are participating in on the product and all that. But that's also because AEW has such a deep pool of talent that they pull from that they're able to do that. Like, yeah, you can say, oh, why is freaking Tony Storm putting her title on the line against what's a low name like Sky Blue, for example? Like, oh, why is Tony Storm putting her title against Sky Blue when she has a program going on with Mercedes right now? Like, why would she be doing that? Why is that a thing and all that? But like, at least at that point, she's defending the title, and you can run the story of she's a defending champion and all that. She's somebody that is willing to put the title online whenever she wants and all that because she's a fucking champion. But again, rant's over with all that. It's one of those annoyances of mine where it's just like, please just utilize the talent that you have, do something more, something different, something just like to actually make me give a shit about your champions and all that. 'Cause
100%.
God dang. Whew, boy. But other than that, I mean, quickfire segments are over and done with, everybody. That's basically our show and the end of the night. So, I mean, thoughts overall with SmackDown. Vash, go ahead. Let us know. What did you think of the SmackDown event of the evening?
So a couple of things that I saw on the timeline I want to just bring up that guess what, Chad? Naomi did crash out, not fully crash out, just said, hey, she's pulling the last few strands of hair that she has left. I waited a decade for this return just to be sitting on this couch, not looking crazy. So I really love that. A few people saying that, hey, it's like a 16-year-old me. It's just crying eternity, just seeing how this happened. The one funniest thing that I want to bring up that I totally just realized and noticed by after this tweet, saying the way Seth Rollins has witnessed all these returns over the past couple of years. The 3 returns are Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and AJ Lee. This man has caused 3 people to return and has been the winners of all of these 3 people. So it's been very funny just to see that happening. And there's a clip already out there of AJ Lee and CM Punk being a good 5 minutes out still with the audience, just taking up the moment, just being happy. And I just want to say, like, yo, I love this. This to me is one of the best moments of 2025 of SmackDown. Could I say if this the best SmackDown for me of the year? No. This is like definitely in the contender of being one of the best SmackDowns overall in this year, probably top 10, top 15. But definitely one of the best moments of SmackDown. I would say top 3 for me. This is literally one of the best moments of SmackDown. Just seeing AGD finally return, hearing music, hearing the words of "Light It Up," like that's just amazing. Like light it up, shooting stars are burning light, sky light it up. It was amazing. Tomorrow, Sunday until Monday, I'm gonna probably be hearing her song for the next 3 days. Just to remember the moment. I love it. I'm glad. Happy for the fans. Happy for everyone to got what we wanted, even though it was spoil or tease like no tomorrow. The more is like, yo, they cannot do it no more because if they don't do it, Chicago and online community is gonna fuck WE like no tomorrow. So they had to do it no matter what. And I'm a happy camper. Those are my last final thoughts. And you know, it was a great SmackDown overall.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, what about you, Drop? What do you think of SmackDown overall tonight? You
So I
think it
thought
was the best ever all, or like what do you think?
when I said that earlier, it's mainly because of the moment itself with AJ Lee. It's hard to really say it's not because that's something a lot of us have been craving for a long time. So the moment itself made it an enjoyable SmackDown for me. Like, sure, there was other SmackDowns throughout the year, but it's mainly the moment itself that really captured the magic of AJ Lee's return that made it one of my personal favorite SmackDowns out of the year. So I really like this. I'm excited to see where it goes. Hopefully other stories evolve as well as we move forward, because definitely this was what stole the show towards the end, because this is what a lot of people were anticipating throughout the night. So that's basically my thoughts, and I'm very intrigued to see what goes on Monday Night Raw now.
Yep. Yeah, same here. I think this was a very strong SmackDown. I mean, despite some of the hiccups and boo boos I thought were on the show, I thought this was a very strong SmackDown. Again, like that, especially that first hour, like that definitely had me hooked for the night. And I mean, at least we got Giulia on our show. We got some sort of forward momentum when it comes to Aleister Black and uh what's his name,
And
David
Damian Priest.
Priest going on.
Yeah.
At least that story's moving forward and all that. So I'm looking forward to what we've got going on in the next couple
Yes.
weeks on Raw and
Yeah.
SmackDown. I'm quite pleased with tonight. It was a good 2 hours of wrestling that we had on our TV.
If I could add as well, when it involves with Damian Priest, if he has a last man standing with Aleister Black, I would not be expected, like, not shocked, because we know with Damian Priest's results over the past couple of years, he has great last man standing matches with Bad Bunny, Cody Rhodes. I believe he had one with Seth Rollins, I believe, as well. Or it was only Seth Rollins, not Cody Rhodes, one or the other. But he has had great last man standing matches.
hmm Oh yeah, yeah. So we'll have to see how everything goes when it comes to their story. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a good SmackDown. So hey, as good as that SmackDown was, and as good as this show has been, we've reached the end, folks. So it's time to hit all those fun things that you get when you get to the end of an episode with when it comes to like the credits, and especially when it comes to YouTube, all those plugs and outros that everybody owes so much love. So I'm glad Vash is here because I kind of suck at doing this part. So with all the plugs of where you can find us on the social medias and all that stuff. So you know what, Vash, let everybody know, let the chat know, where can you find us on social media, where they can find all those links. Talk to them, let them know what's up.
Well, chat, welcome in. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this Weebs of the Ring episode 182 of the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Our coverage for Raw and SmackDown over the past 182 episodes of the PLEs and everything we have done. We appreciate you for also liking the video if you guys like what you saw and were entertained to some extent or not, or just give us some feedback. We'd love to know what you guys thought of this Friday Night SmackDown. What did you think of AJ Lee return? Any expectation? Answer these questions down below. Also, if you like hearing the podcast on the YouTube, also support us on the audio feed. We're there on Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the audio feeds, iHeartRadio that you listen to. Like it, rate it, subscribe to it. We appreciate any support that you guys are doing for us when it comes to the audio feed podcast. And additionally, subscribe, follow social media. Down below are our personal handle. All links are below are in the description. Where you could also follow our social media, Weebs of the Ring, or the parent company AniMa W3 Studio, where you could, watch other content that we have for Off the Bench on Mondays at 10 a.m. Tuesday, Anime Podcast at 10 a.m. So go check out these contents because you will be entertained. And lastly, we have some new content coming out soon. So manga podcast, maybe sure to run it. Relaunching soon in December. Stay tuned. Other than that, chat, those are all the plugs that we have. Continue liking the content. We return for this Monday, Grappling with the Week this Thursday, and for SmackDown next week. So stay tuned. Every show, every 3 times a week, and sometimes when there's POEs, a 4 show a week. Stay tuned.
Yep. And the only way to do that is to follow those links, hit those icons, hit those bells, make sure all your notifications are on so that way you know when things are live, when they're uploaded, all that wonderful good stuff. But hey, just gonna take some time to thank you for taking time out of your day for checking out the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoy what we had to say, again, Vash told you exactly where all those links are at, all of those social media accounts, all of those lovely fun handles that you can find us at. Go ahead, subscribe, follow, like, do all that wonderful stuff for us, because hey, we love to talk to you guys, we love to interact with you guys, and the best way to do that is through social media and through the hashtag Weebs of the Ring, because that's a great way to talk to us before, during, or after these shows, and also great way for you to get some feedback from you guys. Let us know how everything's going, anything you guys want to see, any content you guys want us to add to the channel and all that. Let us know through that hashtag or in the comments and chat below too. Just let us know all that stuff. We'll do our best to add to the show and all that, and add to the product and all that. So hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning in, and we love to hear all that feedback from you guys. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Take a good rest this weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for the Monday Night Raw. Have a good night, everybody.